Okay, here's a couple examples from page 276. First one is number 32. It says, take 5 times 2 times some power equals 25 times 4. So I have to recognize that 5 times some number gives me 25. So I recognize that that's 5 times 5, which is 5 to the second power. Same thing with the 2. 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2 is 4, so 2 to the second power. So the answer for the box in this case has to be the exponent of 2. 39. I have a over b to the third. They want me to substitute for a -1 and for b 3. So I put -1 in the top and 3 in the bottom. So when I take it to the third power, I get -1 times -1 times -1 equals -1. 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So final answer of -1 over 27. The next one I'm doing is number 48. And that's 2ab to the third, the whole thing squared. So I take the exponent, 2 to the second, a to the second, and I take b to the third squared. So when I take b to the third, I multiply it by the 2, and I get b to the sixth. 2 times 2 is 4. The a squared stays the same, and I end up with b to the sixth. So my final answer is 4a squared b to the sixth. The next one and last one is a little bit more complicated. This is number 55. And this week requires us to remember a couple things. We have to remember that when we have like bases with different exponents, we have to subtract those. And we also have to remember that any letter or number to the 0 power is 1. And finally, if we end up with a number of a base to a negative exponent, we put it as 1 over a positive. Okay, so we have to keep those three things in mind as we do this problem. We have minus xy squared over 2xy to the fourth, and everything raised to the fifth power. So I carry everything through, my 5 across everything. Again, when I get to this point right here, I end up with 5 times 4, so I end up with minus 5x y to the fifth, 2 to the fifth, x to the fifth, y to the 20th. I rewrote the answer down here, and I changed the 2 to the fifth to 32, because that's what 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals. So now I recognize I separate them individually. I have 1 over 32. I have the minus x to the fifth over x to the fifth. I have y to the fifth over y to the 20th. Remembering my subtraction, I end up with 1 over 32, and I end up with the x's subtracting. So I have a minus x, 5 minus 5, equals x to the 0. I carry my negative sign along. Here I have x to the fifth on top, minus 20 on the bottom. That's going to give me y to the minus 15. So remembering this, I rewrite everything down here as my final answer of negative 1 over 32 y to the 15th power. Okay, hopefully that'll help you on the assignment.